who have actually qualified here. No, it's about giving opportunity to each and every child for them to get that exposure and for them to be trained. And when you take actually children outside the country, it actually boosts their morale and you motivate them even to do better. So we actually give opportunity to each and every student who is willing to actually partake that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Second question on the challenges in public schools, and you're also looking that direction.
Well, I know that's a challenge, but that is why I said I believe with partnership and probably maybe even support from the government. You see, like the way we normally have swimming competition for the national, maybe the government can actually support and try and motivate these students who have performed very well to be able to give them a platform to be able to showcase their talent outside the country. Yes. So I know it's a challenge, yes, but nothing is impossible. Yeah, we just need the will and the vision to go about it, and I know it can be done.
So how would you make such a pitch if you were to? The ministry, the heads of schools, the unions, where would you make such a pitch if you were to get government on board? Who do you speak to?
Actually, I think ministry will be the first people to talk to. Maybe the cabinet secretary of sports. I am sure this is something that he can actually see it is good for the students, and especially those who have performed well in those activities. And actually, we can see how we can work around in partnership locally and outside the country.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then how would this all contribute to redefining an education? Because we've included the aspect of travel.
I'll say that education is not only classroom setup. Actually, students learn even better when they are not in that setup of classroom. So by redefining education is that by broadening their thinking and also making them not concentrate only on the books, even other activities can actually build the future leaders. That's what I'll say.
Okay. CT furiously writing his notes and was thinking a number of things about how an education can actually be broadened.
Actually, I am, because, see, I am thinking of what it is that was in our education system many, many years ago when we had Form 5 and 6. When you could choose the schools you wanted to go to in Form 1 up to 4, but Form 5 and 6, it was more or less chosen for you at some point.
Yes.
You could choose, but one of the things that the education system did, it took you anywhere. In fact, places you didn't even think you could go to, but right across the country. And then it also followed when it came to employment with the government, they would take you anywhere. The places they avoided taking you to is where you came from. They completely avoided taking you there as much as they possibly could.
Yes.
Now, that exposure meant that I would begin my work today. I start employment with the government. Let's say I come from Nyanza. I'm taken to Machakos. I'd never been to Machakos before, but now I will have gone to Machakos. Someone from Machakos is taken to Turkana. Now, if that in itself was a plan and somebody clearly understood the process behind it, I'm thinking there were benefits to it because you got to see your country in ways that ordinarily you wouldn't if that didn't happen. And civil servants also moved around. Now I'm thinking that ended at some point. We got something called district focus, and then you more or less went to the school which was next to your home. And when you got employed, you were probably employed not very far from where you came from. When you take this a step further and you're taking it to a place where somebody can actually go abroad, and I'm thinking just the visual exposure of what you see, and then the experience that you acquire, and how that, because the experience now will be compared with what it is that you know, and how much that influences you. Now, I'm an educator, and so because I understand how knowledge interacts with us and how it is that it changes you, I'm thinking just how much more traveling would it do for you. Now, that is what was actually in my mind. And I'm thinking it's an excellent idea. It is a good plan. But there's always the elephant in the room. Or is it just a buffalo? Or is this on a zebra? Okay?
Yeah.
There's this thing called cost.
Yes.
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 How do you work it out so that it's affordable, so that parents don't have to be afraid and scream when they hear of such a thing?
Yes, I know cost is an issue here, and that is why we are saying if you can get partnership and collaborations, it will actually help. And we can actually try and not even look at going to Spain, going to UK, or going to the US, because like now, the group that we are going with to Thailand, those who are going to qualify, they'll go to the US. So, of course, that is a cost. And it might not be very affordable to everyone. So, to be inclusive in terms of all the students, we can actually start small. We don't have to think of US. We can think of even South Africa. We can think of Tanzania. We can think of Uganda, which it can be easily accessible and affordable. Yes.
But better still, if let's say there are students who are in Nairobi, why not just take them to another part of the country that they've never seen?
Like Meru.
Yes.
Or
take students from Meru.
Isiolo.
Yes. And take them to Kajiado. Okay.
Yes, actually, we also do local travel for students. We actually, we were involved in chess with some schools, and we took the children to Kisii, we took the children to Eldoret and Machakos. So we are actually also embracing the devolution by moving students from one county to another. And actually what Chess Club they have done, they ensure that they move to all counties in the country. So with that also, it is also tourism. It is also travel for the student. And I know you remember when you were in primary school, when you were told you were going for a trip, how excited you became.
In fact, the first trip that I went to, because my primary school is in Nakuru, it was called Hyrax Hill. Okay, it's just on the outskirts towards a place called Lanet. Then we went to the Menengai crater. You see, it's stuck in my head.
Right. Do you remember what you learned?
I remember what I saw.
Okay. So I'm trying to make the connect. I mean, obviously there's a connection, right?
Yes.
There's a connection that when you go to a new place, there's learnings that you pick up along the way that would, inadvertently contribute to your education, because we often think that it's just that, isn't it?
Yes.
That you read a book, you learn something, then you take an exam, and that is how we measure your learning, right?
Yes.
But what we're saying is that there's so many things that you would then be able to pick up along the way. And when you say Hyrax Hill, I just think of many mountain hyraxes atop a hill. And there's a different kind of animal that you maybe would have never come across reading your social studies book or your science book.
When you ask what I learned, I'm grinning the way I'm grinning.
Yeah.
I remember we were doing some team building exercises on Mount Kenya, right at the foot of the mountain. There were all these hyraxes, and the colleagues I was with, somebody asked, so there are very many big rats. And I could tell them, they're not rats actually, they're called hyraxes.
Yeah.
They're called what? Hyrax. So how do you know this? Now, because I had seen them.
On that first trip.
Yes. So I knew what they were called.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so this is the potential that we're talking about, isn't it?
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a conversation with the folks from the Meru National Park, and we're talking about, just really enhancing the development that can happen around the country by using what Kenya already has. And I'm just seeing a direct line between that and what you can actually do for schools, because you then kill, and students in schools, because you kill so many birds, with this one stone of an idea. And so you can have children, school-going age, learning about different parts of the country, going to a different part of the country, and over time, maybe not spending so much money in order to gain this experience. So it looks like something that could potentially become something very huge, and to see that you could actually, champion that. What would your thoughts be around that?
Yeah, that is very true. Yes, actually, our future plans is to actually include all the children, or rather all the students from different diversity, and also maybe to collaborate with universities in a way that, we only hear of a certain university somewhere, maybe in the UK or somewhere else. So if this student can actually go there and be able just to have a feel of the university, already you have put in their mind that this is where I would like to be, or this is where I would love to do my studies. So it is creating that exposure that will actually change the children. Like Muga said here, that he still remembers what he did the trip, yes. So those small things, they have a very big impact on the children. And especially when they are young, if you do something to them, and in this case, something that is going to build their future and all that, it becomes very positive in their mind. Yes.
You know, some of us went to boarding school and it involved travel, and we used to travel by train. And what was interesting then was you actually saw wild animals just as you were traveling by train.
Yeah.
And the trains were not fast. So you could actually see them for a great length of time. Now, just that traveling alone, because you pass through very many places before you get to, let's say, from Mombasa, and then you get to Nairobi, and you do that often enough, you actually get to know about animals that other people have no clue about, and it's traveling, because if I didn't travel, then I wouldn't see it.
No.
Yes, exactly. I mean, when you think about just the value of movement from one place to the other and the exposure that one gets, even when it's just local, you then set in motion a process where, as these individuals grow older, because of the benefits that they have, they will very readily embrace it, because they will understand the benefits they derive from it. When they're older and they probably have children.
Indeed. Does it lock out any students? Does the opportunity then present itself for only those who then are able to pay for it? You know, I mean, I almost hear the answer, but all right, let it come from you.
I'll say not really, because we customize it according to the student's need or their ability. So it's not about locking out anyone. Our goal is to include everybody. And for now, we work with each and every student. Doesn't matter, as long as we're able to work around the entire package and all that.
Okay, so then you don't just approach the students, but you approach a school administration, and then they're able to float that to students who might be interested, or how exactly does that work then?
Yes, we actually approach the school administration, and then we share the idea with them, and then they are able to share that idea with the parents. Yeah, if all is in agreement, we now start working with them the journey. So as Blue Path Safaris, we ensure that we come in and make it as seamless as possible in terms of documentations, assuming you are to get visa wherever you're going. So we ensure that we work with you through that journey of visa approval. We also ensure that we get approval from Ministry of Education, because the students are supposed to travel when they are approved by a ministry. So we also ensure that we have organized for you airport transfers. We have organized for you. We coordinate the event. And at the same time, we also ensure that whenever you travel, you also get to enjoy and to tour wherever you go in terms of excursions. So it is a mixture of both.
Yeah.
It's educative, and at the same time is exploring at the same time.
All the schools you've worked with, how many of them have actually taken the complement of students that they have to at least a national park?
A national park wherever they go?
No? I'm starting locally. Because my thinking is, you want someone to experience their country.
Yes.
Let them get to understand. So that when they travel abroad, that experience will actually be richer, if you ask me.
Yes, we have actually done local travel with school. Like the last trip we did is Savo. So they went to Savo National Park. And at the park, of course, they get to learn a lot.
Yes.
They go to the springs to experience, that is geography. There's also history involved. And they also get to, there's science. Actually, it's like a combination of all. So we went to Savo, that was this year in April, with a group of 100 students.
Right. What are some of the things that you hear them say while they're on these trips? Or how do you see that they have been affected by the experience, even before they go back to school or leave? What do you hear that then convinces you that, yes, this is actually something that we should be doing?
The feedback is very positive because they want to have a similar experience next time. They also do a report from the school. They are made to do a report of what they learned. So this actually tells they have learned something, and they always say they want to have a similar experience in future. Yeah, so they learn.
You know, even as you talk of the students, many teachers may not even have had that experience either. So even as you take the students, since they go with their teachers, the teachers also get an opportunity to experience something they may not have experienced.
Yeah, they may have cleared school without even traveling to those places, the teachers themselves.
Yes.
Yes, sometimes you may find a group, maybe the teacher has not experienced that, which is also a plus to them because they are able now to practically now teach the student based on
their own understanding.
Their own
So where I'm
understanding.
going with this is, all these teachers thinking majigs have associations. Does your organization also organize such things for teachers within these organizations?
No, we have not actually ventured into that, but that's a good idea also.
It is, huh?
Yeah, it is.
School
Yeah.
holidays, just get teachers to travel.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if teachers have traveled and seen the benefit, it's a lot easier for them to understand.
To sell
Yes.
it to the
To
parents.
sell it to parents of children.
Yeah, true.
Then mine would be, because I've listened to you for close to an hour, and I'd just like to know, how much is this a passion? One, how much is this about bottom line? And thirdly, how much is this about exposing the students and the parents? And how much of it, if you were to apportion in terms of percentage of the benefits that accrue at the end of the day, so how much of it is it a passion for you, a passion, bottom line, and just the need to just showcase the world to these kids and expose them?
Actually, I'll say it's a passion from my end. I actually didn't say that I'm a pilot by profession. Yes, and I used to instruct at Wilson. And so I have interacted with students that I have taught from scratch, and now they are, even others are even captain. So I'll say it's a passion starting from myself, how to instill knowledge into people, how to make them excel. And I believe a good leader is the one who actually see others excel in life. So that is the leadership. So I'll say a big percentage is passion from my end that I'm able to actually share with other people and make them also excel. Yes.
The other ones? It has to be also about bottom line, you know.
You have to put the lights on.
Yes, it has to be about bottom line. Yeah?
You see, the most important is the main objective.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is the main objective, and then the others follow.
We follow.
Yeah.
So you put passion right
Yes.
on top of everything.
Yeah. And that is why whenever students travel, we always accompany them. So there's always a Blue Path Safaris staff on board in whichever destination they go, unless it's a place where we have a partner there and they're already there. Yeah, so yes.
I can't run away from the huge potential that I see for letting Kenyans know what really awesome things Kenya has to offer. I mean, I'm speaking as somebody who's not from here, and I've seen some amazing things. And I say usually you don't need to go really outside of the country if you're looking for a learning or an appreciation of some of the really, really fine things. And there's there have been boards? Have there not been boards that have been set up? People have done ambassador for this, that, and the other thing, where it resides right here, but then it's shown outside, it's showcased to others. And then there are very many a Kenyan who don't know, and that's an education. That's an education right there, who don't know about the really great things that you can see north, south, east, west, right here in this country. So maybe it's opportunity, or maybe it's I can't find the word now, or maybe it's just something that's being given to you, a charge that's being put to you to say, look, how about you really see how you can use the destinations that are available in Kenya today to educate as well as entertain for students at the very lowest level, going towards the highest in education.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. And Kenya has also a lot of potential, and it's a beautiful country because we also market from outsiders to come and see Kenya. So that one, I agree that it's beautiful. It has a lot of potential and all that. And yes, we actually also sell Kenya to the students. We actually tell them you can visit. So Mombasa it's also obvious as very common to many people, but you can visit maybe Lake Baringo, you can visit Olpejeta, all those places. So we do market to students also Kenya, and we also do a lot of local travel as well. Yes.
Okay, so where do you see in the next 2-3 years, what do you think you should have been able to cover? Been able to cover in terms of really redefining this education?
Well, in 2-3 years, we would love to have reached out to many students. We would have to have created a platform that is affordable to many. We'll have loved to have seen students transform from just the local thinking to international thinking. And I believe that will actually help the country at large. It will make better leaders for Kenya in future, and it will also help overall growth for the country. Yes.
Do you think the ministry is aware, for example, the Ministry of Education, right now, aware of what you're doing and how they can actually plug in? I mean, I know you said, yes, there are conversations that can be had, but do you think that they're aware of what you're doing right now? Do you think that you'd be able to then be the one, because, if you wait until they to get in touch with you, it might take a minute, right? But do you think that you would then be able to make the step and say, hey, look, here, this is what we're doing. How would you like to, tap into this?
Yeah. I don't know whether they are aware, unless they are aware through social media, which I don't know. But yes, this is a conversation that would like to engage with either Ministry of Sports or Ministry of Education. As I said, we can bring up the ideas together, and we can see what we can do for the young leaders. Yes. So for now, we haven't had any conversation with them, but that's something we'd love to. Yes.
Yep. Starts with a step, I guess, is what they say.
Yes.
All right. So also, I guess this is coming to our last question. A lot of times when you see activities like this, they're focused around schools in Nairobi. What is the opportunity for schools outside of Nairobi?
Well, that is something we can actually explore. I'll say for sure it has started. It is started with Nairobi, but we are open. We can be able to reach out to other schools. It doesn't have to be in Nairobi. Yes. So especially if we can also get the support from the ministry, it is something that we can actually ensure that we reach out to many schools. Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. I mean, eyes open to different options that are available in terms of the education sector, and really defining it and seeing, okay, well, yeah, we have the brick and mortar, we have the classrooms and the whiteboards and everything, and what about an extra kind of learning? So I think it's an awesome thing that's being done, and it would be interesting to see how this opens up into the future. Monica Kimingi is the founder of Blue Path Safaris, and we've been looking at, redefining education through a travel lens. Thanks for being here this morning. Thank you for keeping it Kenya's biggest conversation this first Monday of September. Conversations continue tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. God willing. Ken, well done. Let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? Of course. Have a good one.
Spices. spice up your life.
It's now. KTN, welcome home.
You saved my life. I'll never ever forget it.
Get ready for a roller coaster ride of love, betrayal.
You are such a liar! You're the liar here!
And intrigue.
This
Welcome to the world of soap operas, where passion runs deep.
I will get my revenge. I will get back at all of you!
And secrets abound.
If I did something wrong, I only did it because I wanted to protect our family.
From scandalous affairs to bitter rivalries.
Why do you always only see my faults? I'm sorry if I was not as smart as you.
KTN Home Soap Operas is your guilty pleasure destination for all things drama. Brace yourself for shocking revelations.